Oh, it says it right there. Queen City hometown. Welcome in to the news at 5. I'm Alicia Barnes.
And thanks for joining us. I'm Morgan Francis.
And I'm Brian Blakely, live here from Mooresville, where Queen City hometown continues its spring tour across the Carolinas today. As every Wednesday, you know, at 5, we're going to be broadcasting live up until Memorial Day, all around the special cities and towns, and showcase what makes living here in the Charlotte area such a special place to live. We're in Mooresville today. It is our second stop on our spring tour after being in Blowing Rock last week. A little bit warmer here in Blowing Rock than it is today. Also a little on the wetter side, but that's not going to dampen our spirits as we got excited here to bring you some really great stories about this wonderful town that's known as Race City, USA, where we live life in the fast lane, as it is where all the NASCAR teams and the NASCAR drivers, a lot of the manufacturers call Mooresville home. It's also home to a lot of the Lowe's home improvement, because the corporate headquarters are here, as the thousands of employees live here and work at Lowe's. Also, we've got a lot of really special stories to share with you over the next hour. Maureen Wirtz standing by, as she always is, wonderful storyteller, showcase what makes living here such an iconic and memorable place to live. Chief Meteorologist Tara Lane, as you just saw, is up there at the Lazy 5 Ranch. She's got our pinpoint forecast, and she's going to tell us when that rain is going to get on out of here. And I'm going to be talking to the mayor at the bottom of the hour, talk about 150 years that Mooresville has been a town, and they've been celebrating already, and they're going to be celebrating throughout the rest of the year. We'll be talking to them at the bottom of the hour, and of course, we got a great hour for you coming up from Mooresville as we send it back to you guys in the studio. Alicia.
Brian, we can't wait to be able to hear all the stories from Mooresville. Stay dry out there, and we'll check in with you a little bit later on in the newscast.
Tara standing by with a friend, I think.
Yeah, look at this. I am live here at Lazy 5 Ranch for our hometown show in Mooresville, and it's feeding time. We've got Gemma right here and her friend just eating out of the bucket. And Gemma really likes my Queen City News jacket. She just keeps trying to lick this and grab my hood too. So we'll keep feeding, and we will see you guys with the forecast after the break.
Welcome to Race City, USA. I'm live in downtown Mooresville. Now, coming up, we're talking with a local legend who has one powerful story to tell. Morgan, Alicia, it's going to be a great show. I'm so excited.
I can tell already with the giraffe. That long tongue on that
Did
giraffe.
you see how long the tongue was? Oh, wow.
All those hometown stories and more here at 5.
You're watching Carolina's own Queen City News.
All right, welcome back to Queen City hometown, where our tour of the towns across the Carolinas continues today. We're in downtown Mooresville, better known as Race City, USA, and we're also going to be celebrating 150 years across the Mooresville that they've been celebrating here for the last few months, being a town here. We have got our crew spread out all over the town right now. Of course, I'm here in the downtown area, where they've got a lot of revitalization projects going on. There's a lot of good things happening here in the downtown area. People honking as they come by. Also, you see Chief Meteorologist Tara Lane over there at the Lazy 5 Ranch, hanging out with all the animals up there, feeding the giraffe. It's a great tourist destination where a lot of kids want to go up there and hang out with the animals as well. Maureen Wirtz, obviously, is our great storyteller. She's going to be having some good stories for us coming up here in just a little bit. And then also, I love seeing these drone shots when you get above the Lazy 5 Ranch, and also show all of what is you can see there of Mooresville. Of course, the town of Mooresville is just over 50,000 people. It's very diverse because you have a lot of people that live on Lake Norman. They want to live the lake life, but also rural, as you can see here, by living the rural life, being out in the farmland, but also 30 miles just up I-77, being off from uptown Charlotte. You got a lot of that urban sprawl here, so there's a lot of things happening in Mooresville, but it's better known, as everyone knows here, as Race City, USA, with all the NASCAR drivers and the NASCAR teams. And Maureen Wirtz, that's where I want to bring you back in here, because as we have a lot of these NASCAR drivers here, there are a lot of them current, but a lot of also legendary NASCAR drivers that call Mooresville home.
Yeah, Brian, we talk a lot about the cars here in Mooresville, but it's really the drivers who've helped make this city play such a big part in all of those NASCAR legends.
Never quit trying. Never quit trying.
It's a city known for its drivers. No, not the ones cruising on Main Street in Mooresville, but those who take a turn on the track. Mile after mile, around and around.
That makes it 2 in a row for Allison and the Dygard team.
And one of those legends
Today's victory increased Allison's lead over Waltrip in the points race to 71 points.
is Bobby Allison,
I didn't let that break my heart. There's another race coming.
a 27-year career centered around one track in particular,
That's the best racetrack in the world.
Daytona.
I can't put it into words, but you know, I can sit right here and think of how good it felt to be sitting in that car at Daytona.
Though Bobby was in the driver's seat, his family often came along too. His wife Judy and their kids, Davy, Bonnie, Clifford, and Carrie.
And after their win here in Richmond, they went to Dover, Delaware the following week and won again.
And two took after Dad. His oldest son, Davy,
And Davy grabbed his little steering wheel and he said, Ned.
and his other son, Clifford.
Clifford's stories were mostly not true, but that was okay with Clifford. And it actually was okay with me too, because they were delightful.
And though his career would be made up of record-breaking wins, there are some losses so great, he still feels them to this day.
Racing taught me that you better really be careful because life is dangerous.
In 1988, Bobby's career ended suddenly with a devastating crash.
The head injury robbed me of incredible memory.
But the ending of his racing career was nothing compared to the loss of his two sons.
Horrible losing those boys.
Clifford died in a racing crash in August of 1992, and less than a year later, Davy passed away after his helicopter crashed in July of 1993.
Davy from that big was my sidekick.
For all his life, Bobby chased those once-in-a-lifetime wins.
Here's Allison.
He's won 84 races, including the Daytona 500, 3 times.
3 500s, but I also won 3 400s, and then I won 3 300s, and then I won 3 150s.
He's won on almost every track he's raced on.
Today, that track is still there,
Except for Martinsville Speedway.
but on a day when I can get all the right stuff together, all right, this might be able to win Martinsville.
In his eyes, a glimmer of a dream.
In spite of that fact, there were more than a handful of Bobby Allison fans in the crowd.
Not yet lost and not yet finished. Bobby has had an extraordinary career, and I have a little story for you. When we were shooting that interview, I asked him to record a special message for our chief investigative reporter, Jody Barr, who was a huge fan, and Bobby ended that little message by saying, "Thank you for being my friend." And that is exactly how he views everyone who's been rooting for him for his whole career. He views them as friends, and he says, when I win, they win too. And Brian, I have to tell you, there actually was a literal twinkle in his eyes when he was talking about Martinsville. And I was like, no, I bet you could do that, Bobby.
Hey, he can still try. What a legend he is, and what a great heart he is, too. It shows right there, and what a life that he's led, and such a great story. And I know you were telling me earlier that Bobby Allison had also, he drives around to the grocery store and that sort of thing. But also, real quick, before we get over to Tara, somebody came out here because they thought Bobby Allison was going to be out here, but it was part of the story. So we gave him one of our Queen City hometown shirts as a consolation prize. But they went home to watch the story so far. All right, thank you, Maureen. Let's go over to Tara right now up there at the Lazy 5 Ranch, and let's talk about that weather. And hopefully this rain will get on out of here as you can feed more animals.
I know the animals. I wonder if they're happy that the rain cleared out. We're happy about it too. I mean, the rain tapered off for us here for our live show just in time here at the Lazy 5 Ranch. I am feeding Mary, and this giraffe actually doesn't have a name yet, but they are trying to be nice and share their bucket of food here. It's feeding time here at the ranch. This ranch was opened back in 1993 by a man named Henry Hampton. He only had a staff of 5 at the time, hence the name Lazy 5 Five Ranch. However, not so lazy. I mean, they put in so much hard work, and here they are today with just all this land and about 1,000 different exotic animals. I mean, we've got giraffes, we've got zebras here, emus, bison, water buffalo, which we saw earlier in our news at 4, and you can drive through in your car and see all these animals or take a wagon ride like we are here today. But yes, the rain has cleared out. We'll get back to the weather now and check out radar. We do still have some showers south and east of Charlotte, but more of those showers will continue to move out the later we get into the evening. So it's back to some dry time for the rest of the week and a lot more sunshine. We still have some areas of rain as we zoom out and look all across the region. It's really just kind of been one of those cool, cloudy, off and on rainy days. But here in Mooresville, temperature is trying to climb now just a little bit, even with some breaks or peaks of at least filtered sunshine shining through. Temperatures sitting in the upper 40s to lower 50s. We've got a few spots, again, low to mid 50s, some 40s in the mountains there. So a cooler day than the 63 that we had yesterday. And here tonight, don't expect much of a cool down. We all stay above freezing. We'll only cool down a few degrees back into the upper 40s to start the day. Leftover clouds before that big warm up kicks in tomorrow. Look at the warmer temperatures back off to the south and west. And we will be feeling some of that warmth. Again, starting tomorrow, highs get a little closer to 80 degrees with increasing sunshine. We'll have some clouds early in the morning, and you can see that on Futurecast. After the rain moves out later on tonight, we have the clouds lingering late tonight and early tomorrow, and then back to some sunshine for the afternoon and on into Friday before another round of showers moves in for the weekend. So the high temperatures, again, upper 70s near 80 in spots tomorrow. The warmth kind of peaks on Friday with those temperatures jumping up into the mid 80s. The average these days, by the way, is only 66 degrees. And then even through the weekend, despite the fact that we do have a weak cold front coming through, we will stay on the warmer side. So sunshine in the mountains as well. With those highs in the 70s, you can see that next rain chance coming in for Saturday, and that's ahead of a cold front spreading in those showers. So Saturday, if you have some outside plans, yeah, that's going to be the wetter half of the weekend. Scattered showers in the morning through the afternoon, tapering off later on at night, and then we'll see some sunshine returning for Sunday. Low temperatures in the morning, mainly in the 40s, and then we will top out in the 70s from the mountains down through the Piedmont and near 80 in the Sandhills tomorrow. And that 7-day forecast shows the rain coming in for Saturday. Sunday, again, the drier half of the weekend before we get more showers early next week and temperatures back in the 60s, guys. We will see you back here in the next half hour from Lazy Five Ranch. We'll see what other animals we can find on our tour here.
Not so fast.
I know, we got to talk about something because we have to let our viewers in on this. While you were doing that whole forecast, you were feeding the giraffe with one hand,
and then going
trying
through.
to be able to handle it. I wish we could have shown people what you
I'm going to post it.
And every time the giraffe, you would go down to be able to hit the button, the giraffe's face would go down for the feeding and go back up.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Tara,
You're
what you
so
just
talented.
did, super talented. Yes.
I'm trying. I tell you what, though, I feel like these giraffes, they love my jacket and my hat more than the food. They keep trying to take my hat, so I have to kind of watch myself here.
A lot going on out there. All right, Tara, we'll check back in with you
so
later.
good.
You're
so
noteworthy.
Good. Yes, yes.
Well, speaking of NASCAR, buckle up. The average price of a car just soared to prices you won't believe just when it could be harder than ever to get a loan.
You're watching Carolina's own Queen City News. It is Hometown Wednesday today out in Mooresville, the most local news in the Carolinas.
All right, welcome back here to Queen City Hometown as we continue our spring tour here across the area. Mooresville today, what a special spot it is here at the bottom of the hour. I got a little bit of history lesson for you because we have all these wonderful things that have happened in Mooresville. But did you know, as I hold up this dime right here, how's that over there? Are we picking that up? What's the significance of the dime? Well, on the face of the dime, Selma Burke designed the bust there. She's from Mooresville. They actually have a school named after her here, and that is a pretty famous thing of Franklin Delano Roosevelt designing this bust way back in the 30s and 40s and put that on the dime there, and that is from the lady that from Mooresville. So a little bit of tidbit history there for you. We got a lot of great stories here talking about the celebrations first, coming up here in a little bit, but first I want to go back out to Maureen. Maureen, I love the shot over there in downtown Mooresville. It just shows you what kind of a cool, iconic place this is, and the next story you have for us is all about kindness.
Brian, yes, as we get older, I think we forget how important kindness is Sometimes pride or even time gets in the way, but here in Mooresville, one fifth grader is showing us all just how much better our lives would be with a little more kindness.
Give me a better math term. 8/10 is equal to what?
Between the bells
What would your answer be? What would the quotient be?
and the decimal points, 3, school can be a lot.
So 8 out of 100 is 800.
Sometimes it's who's friends with who and what's in style.
Most of my stuff doesn't match. Well, depends.
For fifth grader Maddie Richter,
We got Jordans before.
it's all about clothes. But not in the way you may think.
Yep.
Because right at the beginning of the hallway at Mooresville Intermediate School is an old classroom turned closet
Some people thought it was a good idea. Some people thought that it wouldn't maybe work.
filled with all kinds of donated clothes for her classmates.
I just feel like I like to help people, and if people don't have enough, then I like to help them.
She got the idea from her grandpa
Here's more.
and decided to create a free closet for kids who didn't have enough clothes or who needed something right away.
It was because I fell in mud during a fire drill.
Like fifth grader Layden Pierce.
I feel like it's a kind thing to do.
And how many clothes has she folded?
That is a great question. I have no clue.
Or exactly how many of her classmates have stopped by?
It's not like their fault. It may just be like a coincidence that can happen to their family.
Next year, she'll be moving up to the middle school, and she's not sure if the closet will stay open.
Do we have room for those t-shirts to go over there?
If she could do anything, it'd be this.
That it'll be there forever and that everybody will be able to use it.
And maybe it could grow.
But hopefully next year I can actually try to maybe have one at the middle school.
It's not always math and science taught at school. And sometimes the teachers aren't those at the whiteboard,
What's that math term?
but rather those kids giving us all a much needed lesson
There, teamwork.
in kindness.
It was amazing sitting down and talking with Maddie. She is so special. Now, she was the first person to donate to the closet. Now they've been getting donations consistently. And Brian, what a special young girl. I can't wait to see what she does.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see what she's going to be someday, because you know it's going to be something special. And I love how it gives back to so many people in the community. Lovely story. Maureen, thanks. And of course, I'm sitting here with the mayor of Mooresville right now, Miles Adkins. Mayor, thank you so much for having us today in the hometown. This is great.
You kidding me? This is super cool, Brian. We're so glad that you guys are here. We're the second stop on your tour, and we're thrilled that you guys made it to Race City, USA, and to spend some time with us today.
Race City, USA, there's so many wonderful things about Mooresville to talk about. First thing I really want to talk about is the downtown area here. The great renaissance and revitalization for all the projects that are going on. Very busy. You can see all the stores are just kind of happening right now.
A lot of good stuff happening. This whole town, the downtown is thriving. You know, it's really the heart and soul of the community, and we have a lot of infill projects going on. We have residents that are moving in to live downtown. We have new restaurants that are opening up, so it's thriving. There's a lot of public investment, but a tremendous amount of private investment going on. So it's booming downtown. It's what's happening.
Yeah, and I really like it because I was walking through there, and it's not where you go to some downtowns and you have a little bit of traffic. There's a lot of traffic going on here, which is really nice. And also, you're celebrating 150 years of being in town.
150, I'm telling you, we are blowing it out all year long. We knew it was going to be a year-long celebration. We're doing it right, and we have 7 signature events that we have planned. We've already had our first 2. We celebrated the official birthday on March 4th, and downtown we had 10,000 people that came out for this birthday party to celebrate. And we have 5 more signature events, and then we have 150 fun things to do all year long. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
I know you had a big one on March 4th, and then you got a lot more events.
A lot more coming up. Absolutely.
You know, we were talking about Race City USA because we have a lot of the race truck drivers here, the manufacturers that are here, but also Lowe's. And you're saying they're part of a lot of the development that's going on in the downtown area as well.
Yeah, and Lowe's is a great community partner for us who does a lot of volunteering. They're a big supporter. You know, we like to claim, we claim that we are the most patriotic town in America because we have the most patriotic coffee shop with Richard's Coffee Shop, and Lowe's is a big supporter of veterans, and they have a lot of their suppliers that are in and around the downtown area.
One of the things too I love about Mooresville is the lake life, and your story is really kind of indicative of a lot of people that moved up here. Tell me about your story.
Yeah, so I was commuting back and forth, and I was living in Charlotte at the time, my wife and I was commuting north, and I kept passing by the lake, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is so nice. And I went out on the lake one day, and I told my wife, we lived in Elizabeth at the time, and I said, and this is back in '97, and I said, we're moving to Mooresville. This is where we want to be.
Yeah,
and that's where we started our family.
Oh, it's a great thing. And lake property, probably not what it was way back then.
No, I wish. Yeah, it didn't happen. But we live downtown now, and we love it.
Yeah, well, great town. It's great to have you out here today. Have us out here today. We really appreciate it. Mayor Miles Atkins from Mooresville. Appreciate you.
Well, thank you guys for what y'all are doing. We really appreciate y'all being here. So thank you.
Well, good deal. Let's go ahead and send it back to the studio right now with Morgan. Morgan?
Brian, on this rainy day, just hearing you guys talk about the lake, I felt like I was there. It was totally a Zen moment. Looking forward to what else you guys have planned for the show.
All right, welcome back to Queen City Hometown, where our spring tour continues here in Mooresville, where we are celebrating. I got Gianna and Marcus here with us. This is what it's all about. The families wanted to come out here and celebrate with us. And Marcus, how come you guys decided to come on out here today?
We just did because me and my family just absolutely love this channel, and we want to just head over here since Mooresville is our hometown. And
that's great, and it is a wonderful hometown, and we're also going to give you guys a little bit of shirts to go along with that. Gianna, thanks for coming out here today, guys. We really appreciate that. So this is what it's all about. It's the families coming together to showcase these towns like Mooresville that are so special. Maureen Wirtz, I want to bring you back in because you got a really special story about slowing down the pace of life around here, what it's all about as far as the meaning of life.
Brian, Mooresville has a reputation for going fast, racing through life, but we discovered that is not the case. Instead, people are all about slowing down and taking their time.
One time we had 200 acres.
It's been called an art form.
Where do you come from?
Conversation. And like all art, it takes practice.
Some of them want to find out, why am I here? Why am I here? What's my purpose? And I said, well, you can tell me your story and maybe we can figure out your purpose.
For the last 20 years, Linda Watts has had countless chats with those hoping to share their final stories.
But they're all interesting. I mean, everybody has a different life.
Linda's talented in that people take to her, if you know what I mean.
Both Linda and her husband, Bob, are longtime volunteers at the S. Mitchell Mack Hospice House in Mooresville.
Hi, how are you? Oh my goodness, you're up. You're doing good.
Linda's had over 100 conversations with those folks in their final days.
I remember the stories, the things that they tell you that they loved.
Speaking of love,
I think it took me about 2 minutes to fall in love with her.
The two know it's a powerful player
So,
when it comes to conversations about life.
5 years ago, and I've lost a finger. It was in the fingernail.
she doesn't let a whole lot of things get her down.
I just had a radiation treatment for one in the lung, in the back. So we'll see.
Linda's fighting melanoma, and while that's part of her story,
I don't fear anything. I really do not fear.
She's there to listen to others.
It's really a wonderful thing to do, is to say goodbye.
And give them the feeling.
Too bad we didn't have any hospice volunteers then.
No, we didn't.
Only a great conversation can bring.
We had a garden. We could work in the garden, and Eddie was gonna let.
The peace and love Linda brings for every conversation really is just special to watch, and it's a great reminder for all of us to tell those we love that we love them and to take time for those things that matter. Brian?
Yeah, how special life is, and just those moments are so special to have those conversations and to have someone like that. It really is special, makes you reflect on your life as well. Maureen, thanks. Let's go up to Tara right now, talking with the animals. We're all talking to weather. What do you got for us right now? You feeding giraffe, or who else is back there nipping at your heels?
Yeah, we've got a little weather. We got another a few animals behind me. You can see the red kangaroos. They are very curious, and we've just been kind of hanging out here quietly, as quiet as we can be, and they're so still, and they're just watching us, kind of bouncing around from time to time. But just observing what we are doing here. And we're doing a little bit of weather. Yes, we're talking about how it's drier now. We still have a lot of clouds around, at least drier for most of our area. Now we look at radar, and as we look high above the Lazy 5 Ranch where we are, down the road from you all there in the downtown area, right off Highway 150 in Mooresville. Yes, we had the rain that has cleared out, but we still do have some areas of rain down through upstate South Carolina where it's coming down still pretty good down through the upstate, but it will eventually be drier for you all as well a little bit later on tonight. And as we kind of widen out the view here, you can see just more scattered showers all over the region. It's been a cooler day today just for this one day. So you might be thinking, oh, I thought we were talking about warmer temperatures this week. It's chillier today. It's just today because tomorrow, what a difference a day makes is what we're going to be saying, because it's back to sunshine in the afternoon and temperatures will be up into the 70s. 51 right now in Mooresville. The wind is nice and calm at the moment. We've got 40s up in the mountains, 50s in most other neighborhoods, and not a major cool down coming up tonight. We stay well above freezing with clouds hanging on for a little bit and temperatures only dropping into the mid and upper 40s. But you can see all the warmth as we zoom out and look to the southwest. We will be feeling some of that heat. Yes, heat by the end of the week on Friday. Tomorrow we start cool and cloudy in a lot of neighborhoods, about 52 degrees at 8 o'clock in the morning, but then soar into the 70s the later we get into the afternoon with that increasing sunshine. Futurecast shows that to us as well. The green and the lingering showers that some of you are still seeing right now moving out. And then by later tomorrow evening going into Friday, again, it's back to some dry time for a couple of days and warm times too. We're going to be breaking out the short sleeves and shorts for Friday especially, and even tomorrow with the temperatures peaking into the mid 80s. And then we're back in the 70s over the weekend with the addition of more rain on Saturday. Just a little bit cooler, closer to average going into early next week. The mountain forecast shows the sunshine the next couple of days to wrap up the week. High temperatures there in the 70s. Saturday is when that next chance of rain moves in, and Sunday is definitely looking like that drier half of the weekend. And the Saturday showers coming in ahead of a cold front. So from morning right on through the afternoon and into the evening, we'll be kind of stuck just with the wet weather out there. So Sunday, it's back to some dry time. Temperatures in the morning, mostly in the 40s to near 50, 70s to near 80 in spots in the afternoon. Excuse me. Excuse me. And then Saturday, we will have some rain. Toss it back to you guys.
And with that, we say pollen season is on the way. All right, Tara, thanks so much.
Right.